Hi there. In this video, we're going to be updating the student loan notification to include the image of the book that we're taking out. We're going to edit the cloud flow. We're going to go and get the book image. We're going to add a condition in to identify if an image exists or not. And then we're going to update the email to use the book image. Finally, we'll test that the cloud flow changes that we've made have worked correctly. So let's move over to the exercise. I'm on the details pane of the cloud flow that we've been working on. I'm not going to edit it straight away. I'm going to go and look at the last test that we did. I'm going to select on that. I'm going to start to look at some of the details of that test. I'm going to move down to the book details. And I'm going to scroll within the book details. If I scroll further on down, I get to a statement which says PU book image. I can select this, and if I go into Notepad, I can see what it tells me. It's a relatively long string of text, but we've seen this sort of thing before. This is a base 64 version of our book image, and we can use this within the context of the email that we send out. In addition to this, we'll need to make sure the flow is constructed in a way that can cope with situations where there is no book image. When I return to my flow, I can hit the back option, and then I can start editing the flow. In this case, it's defaulted to the classic designer, and I can select on this so I can move to the new designer. I can switch without saving this time. Select OK. I'm in the flow in the new editor, and the first thing that I'm going to do is add another action. Select on the plus icon, add an action, and this time we're going to add in a condition. So I'm going to type in condition. I can select condition, and a condition effectively allows us to ask a question, and the response will take us down one of two routes, a true route or a false route. And the question that we're going to ask is whether or not there is a book image. So I'm going to select on choose a value, look for dynamic content, and then I can search for image. I can see there's an option for image of the book. And I now need to find out if the book image is null. It's our way of saying if it's not there. So I'm going to select on choose a value. And then this time I'm going to select on expressions, and I'm actually going to type in the word null and then select null. I can then select add. Now if it's equal to null, that means the image isn't there. So what I'm going to say is not equal to. So if it's not equal to null, then we'll go down the true route. So what I'm going to do is to rewrite the send an email expression, select the plus icon, add an action, and then send an email. And we're going to use the outlook.com connector, send an email, and we'll populate it in the same way as we've done in previous videos. I can change the name of this. And I've indicated send an email, include image. I'm now going to add in another compose step above the send an email, include image. Select the plus icon, add an action, and then search for compose. And then select compose. The compose step needs to be populated with some HTML. And you can copy this from the learner downloads file. We have a text file called bookimage.html.txt. Just copy and paste that, and then we need to make one further change. We're going to remove this replace me, and we're going to replace it with some dynamic content. And we can search on image and select book image. We can change the name of this, and we can call the action HTML book image. What's it doing? It's hypertext markup language, and it's saying that it's an image and it's telling it the details of that image. Now that we've done this, we can move to the Send an Image step, select on it, and we can introduce it into our email. I can select Enter, and now I'm going to use this dynamic content. Select on that, and I can use the outputs from the HTML book image step. Add that in. I need to move the original Send an Email option into the False bucket, and that will be available in the near future. And the ability to move and copy them will be available in the near future. So I'm going to rewrite the email. I've called the step Send an Email v2 no image, and the subject is new loan taken out. But to help us out, I'm just going to add in no book image. Finally, I'm going to select on the Send an Email step, hit the 3 dots, and then delete this step. Select OK. The flow is now complete, and I'm going to press Save. In order to perform the testing, I'm going to deselect the new designer, and I'm going to switch without saving because I've done the save already, and then select OK. Let's now test the flow. Select Test. We can do it automatically and do it with a recently used trigger, and then select Save and Test. We can see that the flow has been successful, but which route did it go down? Let's select on the condition. We can see that we went down the left-hand side, the yes condition, and it sent out an email which included the image. Let's take a look at the email. It now reads, Yuki Sato, you've taken out Frankenstein on loan, but it includes an image. Let's try it out now with a loan that doesn't have an image. I'm in my model-driven app, and I'm going to go to My Books. I'm going to select on Winnie the Pooh, and then I'm going to remove the image. Delete the image, and then select OK. I can now save and close. Move to the Loans Check-in and Checkout. Check out a book, and then select a student. I'm going to choose Maria Garcia, and then we'll select the book copy. Select on Winnie the Pooh, and then Checkout. Our expected behaviour is that we'll receive an email, but this time round it won't show us it including an image of the book. Let's take a look. It sent it to me for testing purposes, and it says Maria Garcia, the student that we selected. It says the book name, but it doesn't show an image of the book because there isn't one there. Let's go and take a look at the flow run. This time round, we can see that it went down the right-hand route. The route that's relevant if there isn't an image. I hope you enjoyed this video. We included a book image within our flow, and we also had a condition that meant that it went down different routes depending on whether a book image was available or not. Thank you for watching.